Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Bridget Adazie, and I'll be sharing with you story excerpts from the book I read, But You Did Not Come Back by Marceline, Lauridan-Ivens. This is more or less like a book review, and I'll be sharing with you guys, stories from the book. I know a lot of people find it a bit of a challenge trying to put themselves together to read a book. So from time to time I'll be sharing with you stories from book I read, just so you have an idea of what the book is about, or you're motivated to go and read the book yourself. So today, like I said earlier, I'll be talking about the book titled But You Did Not Come Back by Marceline Lauridan-Ivens. It's quite an interesting read, and I felt like it will take you through a journey of it will take you through the experience of being in the Second World War. For a lot of persons, the 90s children, and shout out to the 90s children and the 20s children that did not experience World War II. I'll give you like a brief history of when the war started and all, just so you have an idea of what the writer went through, what the writer experienced. So guys, for the World War II was fought between the Axis powers, that is Germany, Japan and Italy, and the Allied powers, which is the USA and the USSR and the rest of the world. It started in September 1st, 1939 and ended on 2nd of September 1945 with the rise of the German Nazi political party into power. Their basic agenda was to conquer the world. They actually captured most parts of Europe, from Poland, Austria, France and so on. The US and USSR were the game changers when they joined the war and put a stop to the Germans and the Japanese. So having said that, this book, the writer at the time was a 15-year-old girl, Jewish girl, who was captured alongside her father as a victim of war. So they were taken to Auschwitz, where they were taken to Auschwitz as prisoners of war, and it was that place that changed her life forever, changed her narrative forever, changed her experience, her perspective to life, her living generally. Because at the end of the day, he changed who she was actually. She experienced a lot of hardship, as it is expected of people that have experienced wars. So she recounted how when she was newly arrested, how she was quarantined and they were made to live on borrowed time. Like, you no longer have the luxury of your own time. You no longer have you don't have your life anymore. You live under the dictatorship of your the people that captured them. So they were meant to live under hard labor and gas chamber, like she would call it. The gas chamber was like where they burn dead bodies of people that are so weak they can't walk, and they get them arrested and all of that. So how they were made to wear clothes of dead bodies, you can imagine. She no longer had clothes, so what they wear at the end of the day were clothes from dead people. They collect their clothes, wear it, their shoes and all of that. How the camp commandant made them undress just to see who is fit to walk. Like, they were made to do work, do hard labor, build rails. So for the camp commandant to select people to work, people that they consider fit to live, because apparently if you are not fit, if they consider you not fit to work, they kill the person and they burn the corpse of such a person. So you can imagine being put through being subjected to the fact that you don't have your own body. You don't have a right to your own body, to your own dignity, to your own pride, because you have to strip naked and they look at you, they see you. If they think you can live, they absorb you to work. But if they feel like you are not healthy enough, they just kill the person. Those was what they were subjected to. More situations like where you find where your friend, like she recounted one experience she had, like her friend was a man on the next cell. The man was on solitary confinement. He was sentenced to death. He was supposed to die because he disobeyed the commandant and all of that. So the only way she could have communicated to that man was by tapping the wall of the cell, like doing something like this. And she at some point she wanted to communicate her name to the person. So each tap represented a letter. Let's say this is A, two tap is AB, that kind of a thing. So she ended up tapping up to 80 times just to spell Marceline. You can imagine how the emotional torture of such an experience. Imagine losing the feeling of love and sensitivity. You become used to seeing dead bodies that it no longer matters whether this person is alive or dead. You no longer care that much. Death seems like nothing to you anymore, because they go through and they have to be the ones responsible for burning dead persons. So imagine she recounted one experience that she saw a red dress, and imagine a situation where you've become used to suffering, that you see a red dress, a red beautiful dress, and in your mind you're seeing it as a mysterious dress. Like, this dress can't be real, it is mysterious, because you've become used to wearing the clothes of dead bodies. That's heartbreaking. That's just the height. A whole lot of that. She recounted. There's one quite touching part about this book. She was captured alongside her father, but she and her father still used to see themselves in camps and all of that when they are working. But there are rules and they are not expected to go close to their father. So there was a time where she came across her dad. So when she saw her father in the camp, she rushed to the father. So the officers in charge of them had to beat her, like, how dare you go close to a man. They call her all sorts of names. They call her a whore, said a lot of things about her. And then the father, slipped in one tomato and one onion to her hand. That's apparently like his lunch for the day. The father slipped it into her hand and she hid it immediately and took it to herself. Like, that was, according to her, Marceline, that was where she felt like she experienced love. Like, she could feel it. She could feel that connect. At that point, she had this sense of, okay, where she felt like she was a human being, where she felt connected to somebody else. She went through a whole lot. There's just a whole lot. This book is one emotional, it's so intense that even while I was reading it, I was feeling like I was there. I was experiencing the war through her eyes. Like, it was quite intense. So imagine experiencing a situation where even the crematorium, or where they burn dead bodies, was so full that fire was coming out of the chimneys instead of smoke. Like, that was just the height. dead bodies no longer meant anything to them. The stench that comes out from, dead persons, were so intense that to go through their nose and penetrate their bones, like that's a whole lot. That's a whole lot for a 15-year-old to experience. And it's quite sad, because at the end of the day, why do wars happen? Why do we have to fight each other? Why should it even happen in the first place? War is a no-no. It's not something I think anybody should experience, because it's quite a sad experience. So after the war, when the war ended, the father did not make it. Initially, the father told her at the beginning, when she was writing, she said when they were both captured, that the father told her that she should not worry, that she's still young, that she will make it through the war, like she will survive it. But he's not sure about himself. He's not sure whether he's going to make it through the war, make it out alive. And she said that prophecy haunted her. So that was why when she saw her father in camp, she was really, really happy. At least she consoled herself with the fact that, okay, that prophecy was not going to be true. She was going to make it through, the father was going to make it through the war. But unfortunately, after the war, when the war was over, they were released back, they were transported back to Paris. The father didn't make it alive. She came to Paris. Her mom, her mother, who, even though she was not captured as a victim of war, had become numb, because this war thing is not only the victims that it affects everybody. The psychological and emotional trauma of not seeing your loved ones, or not knowing the fate of your loved ones, not knowing where or how they are faring. You can't even make effort. There's nothing really that you can do about the situation. You are handicapped in such situation. It's quite challenging on her part, and I wouldn't blame her. When she was writing, she said her mother did not come for her when they were returning deportees. That when they were returning, then the mother did not come. So I understand totally. Like, I understand that she must have become numb too as well. For a woman not to, want to come for a child, that she must have been, dealing with a lot. So the mother did not come for her, but she, according to her, she said she understands why. However, she still felt like she felt like there was no use coming back, because along the line she had, like I recounted earlier, she has lost touch with her emotions and her feelings. So she recounted how her mother did not come back, how the government wanted people to start getting married just so they, have more kids, and try to erase those painful memories and fill the void of people that they must have lost during the war. She couldn't understand the comfort of sleeping on a bed, something as simple as sleeping on the bed. She couldn't understand the comfort of sleeping on the bed. Even when her mother took her home, they made everything so perfect for her, but she had to go and sleep on the floor because she had become used to suffering. How her mom remarried, her mother remarried to somebody else, that was another part that also, according to her, like, she really felt bad about. She felt like it's not the fact that she remarried was what haunted her, but how she did it and the person that she did it with. She didn't like the man and all of that. So her friend, even her friend, she met a friend. I didn't say that part. There was a friend that she met during the war. This lady was she was, the friend that she met, like, was somebody, they met along the line. So the person actually, got her back at some point in the story. So what happened was the person, she was supposed to be beaten for an offense she committed. So the person told the camp commandant that, okay, that she is her sister and that she did what she was, something like that, something along that line, and she was, freed eventually. So that her friend, when they eventually came back, when they were eventually freed and came back to Paris, she was, she recounted how they would go to restaurants to eat, and the friend would still steal teaspoons, something as simple as teaspoons, because that was all they had to survive. Like, that was the only thing that they owned when they were in the camp. Then after the story, I didn't say she was the first daughter. Her dad's first son, that her brother, her oldest brother Henry, got married almost immediately after the war to one girl. She's Maria. Her younger brother, that used to be like her dad's pet, that one's name is Mitchell. Mitchell never got used to the fact that the father did not make it back from the war. Like, it affected him so much so that he lived with it all through his life. He gets angry over every little thing. He became manic, like manic depression was what affected Mitchell. And when he was 43, that was exactly the age the father was when he died. When Mitchell became 43, he killed himself. Shortly afterwards, the mom, 2 years after Mitchell killed himself, the mom died, and then one of the sisters too died. Up until, when she was writing this book, she was 86 rather, sorry. She was 86. So she was just, this book was her her letting out of the war experience, because she never got used to the fact too that her dad didn't make it, because her father was like all she got. Her father was one person that she could connect with. Even before the war, she was quite close to her father, and she was they were friends. She was friends with her dad, more to her dad than to her mom. So it affected her so much, and the mom was quite impatient with her when she reacts to things as normal as maybe things that every normal person should do, like when she's sick and she does not feel okay being cared for. The mom would scold her, shout on her. She would be very impatient with her, because she couldn't understand why she reacts that way when she tries to take care of her and all of that. But she felt that if her dad came back, the dad would have understood what she went through and would have understood her better when she reacts that way. So she felt a lot of disconnect with her mom. This book was just, it was beautiful. I'm glad I read this book, because it opened my eyes to what war is about, and it's not something that anyone should experience. It's not something that anyone should experience. And I feel like if we don't have enough knowledge about her past, we might not be able to amend what is to come. Because if you know what has happened in the past, you will know how to avoid it in the future, so that history will not repeat itself. So generally, so I'm glad I read this book, and I hope I gave you an insight or an idea of what the book is about, and I hope to be doing more of these book reviews in the future. I hope to be doing more of it, just so you know, people that don't like to read or cannot just put themselves together to read a book, they have a glimpse of book, because actually very important. We read, we need to read. Most Nigerians don't know their history. It's time to be corrected anyway, but you know, it's good we know where we are coming from, so that we know how to manage subsequent situations, how to become better in the future. I'll see you guys in my next video. Watch out for me. I'll be doing a lot of review. Just watch out for me. If you feel this video, you like it, give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. It's too early for that, yeah, you might want to think, but it's not too early, because I have a whole lot that I'll be bringing to this channel, and I hope you guys would I know you guys will love it. You'll love it. Bye. See you in my next video.